In the DC universe, the oldest enemies have stood the test of time, challenging heroes with their dark legacies and relentless ambitions. Today we're diving into the world of the oldest villains in DC Comics, from the twisted masterminds all the way to the tragic figures whose stories have shaped the darkest corners of Gotham. Get ready for a trip through comic history as we explore the oldest villains in the DC universe. Number 10. The Penguin. Oswald Cobblepot, aka the Penguin, made his first appearance in Detective Comics issue 58 back in the 1940s. He's one of Batman's most enduring foes, blending high society elegance, of course, with ruthless criminality. Known for his iconic tuxedo and trick umbrellas, he's often underestimated, but he poses a significant threat to Gotham. In the Penguin Affair, which happened back in Batman issue 448, he uses a bird-controlling device to orchestrate high-profile crimes, of course forcing Batman and Robin to outwit his cunning schemes. Now, beyond his criminal exploits, Cobblepot runs the Iceberg Lounge. It's a nightclub that doubles as a hub for Gotham's underworld, of course solidifying his role as a key player in the city's dark underbelly. The show is also pretty great too. If you haven't seen that, you should definitely watch it. Number 9. Solomon Grundy. Solomon Grundy's tragic origins make him one of DC's most haunting villains. He was once a wealthy man named Cyrus Gold, and he was sadly taken out and dumped in Slaughter Swamp. What a crazy name. Only to rise as the monstrous Grundy. Now, each time he passes away, he's actually reborn but stronger, with little memory of his past lives. A standout story called Solomon Grundy happened in Starman issue 33, and it reveals his bond with Jack Knight, the current Starman, who sees glimpses of humanity within him. Now, this arc explores Grundy's fractured memories and moments of innocence, adding emotional depth to the character. Often clashing with heroes like Green Lantern and Batman, Grundy is a symbol of horror, tragedy, and unstoppable strength in the DC universe. Number 8. The Scarecrow. Making his first appearance in World's Finest Comics issue 3 back in 1941. Dr. Jonathan Crane, better known as the Scarecrow, is one of Gotham's most chilling villains, using fear itself as his tool. Once a former professor of psychology, Crane was dismissed from his university positioning for conducting unethical experiments on fear. Sounds like a villain right off the hop. He turned his obsession into a life of crime. He developed a fear toxin that induces terrifying hallucinations, reducing even the strongest-willed individuals to panic. One of Scarecrow's most memorable storylines is Fear of Faith. It happened in Batman No Man's Land issues 1 to 4. In this arc, Gotham is devastated by an earthquake, leaving the city, of course, in chaos. Now, amid the ruins, Scarecrow manipulates a group of desperate survivors, preying on their fears to control them. This story highlights Crane's cunning nature as he uses fear not only as a tool, but as means to exert psychological dominance. Scarecrow has clashed with Batman numerous times on and off screen, often targeting the Dark Knight's greatest fear, which is failing to protect Gotham. His ability to break minds, combined with his eerie presence and unsettling motives, cements him as one of Batman's most disturbing and enduring villains. Number 7. The Riddler. Making his first appearance in Detective Comics 140 back in 1948, Edward Nygma, aka the Riddler, thrives on intellectual dominance. His love for puzzles and riddles often turns his crimes into these elaborate games designed to outsmart Batman. One of the Riddler's most memorable storylines is that of Hush, where he plays a crucial role in orchestrating a grand conspiracy against Batman. Working behind the scenes, the Riddler helps the mysterious Hush manipulate Gotham's villains to target Batman, all of them. His role in unraveling Bruce Wayne's identity as Batman also showcases his brilliance and ability to influence events, all from the shadows. You wouldn't even see him coming. Though often portrayed as this quirky, Jim Carrey nuisance of a character, modern interpretations of the Riddler do highlight his darker, more menacing side, solidifying his status as one of Batman's greatest intellectual adversaries. Yeah, if you compare Jim Carrey's Riddler to Paul Dano's Riddler on screen, they're both very different, but somehow they're both very accurate. Number 6. Lex Luthor. First appearing in Action Comics issue 23 back in the 1940s. Lex Luthor is an embodiment of human ambition and, of course, arrogance and baldness. As a billionaire genius, he views Superman not as a hero, but as a threat to humanity's potential. One of Lex's defining moments comes in All-Star Superman by Grant Morrison. Now, in this critically acclaimed story, Lex achieves his ultimate goal of defeating Superman by exposing him to lethal solar radiation. Now, as Superman faces his mortality, Lex reflects on the choices that led him to become a villain, adding layers to his, of course, complex character. Whether he's battling Superman in a high-tech war suit or manipulating the world's political stage, Lex Luthor remains one of DC's most compelling and enduring villains. Nicholas Hoult is playing this character in James Gunn's new Superman movie, and he looks great. He's bald, so he's already halfway there. Number 5. The Joker. The Joker is chaos. He's a villain who thrives on destruction, anarchy, and of course, tormenting Gotham City. His maniacal laugh, the painted grin, and twisted sense of humor, this all masks a violent and unpredictable nature that makes him Batman's ultimate nemesis. Heath Ledger also, I mean, how do you beat that role? Alan Moore wrote one of his most infamous moments. This controversial and iconic storyline explores the Joker's origin and his attempt to drive Commissioner Gordon absolutely insane. So in a shocking act, he actually hurts Barbara Gordon in front of her father, highlighting his sadistic nature, and the story dives into the dark parallels between Batman and the Joker, emphasizing their shared tragedy and opposing responses to said tragedy. The Joker's relationship with Batman is as much psychological as it is physical. He constantly pushes Batman to question his morals and methods, making their rivalry one of the most compelling dynamics in comic book history. Yeah, Heath Ledger and then Jared Leto. It's like, what happened? Number 4. Brainiac. Brainiac is an alien android and one of Superman's greatest adversaries. Yeah, you had me at alien android. Obsessed with knowledge, he travels the universe, shrinking down cities and then bottling them for his collection. Yeah, I'm more of a seashell guy myself. His cold, calculating nature and advanced technology make him a unique threat not only to Superman, but of course the entire DC universe. One of Brainiac's most famous arcs is in Brainiac. It's Action Comics 866 by Jeff Johns. Now in this modern retelling, Brainiac invades Earth, classic, revealing that he was responsible for shrinking the Kryptonian city of Kandor, and Superman faces one of his most challenging battles as Brainiac's intellect and technology push him to his limits. This storyline redefines Brainiac as a menacing and unstoppable foe while exploring Superman's emotional connection to his Kryptonian heritage. Brainiac's ability to manipulate entire civilizations and his single-minded pursuit of knowledge, of course, makes him one of DC's most fearsome villains. You have to add him on this list. He's old, but he's gold. Number 3, Darkseid. Darkseid is the godlike ruler of Apokolips, a planet of fire and suffering. Doesn't that sound fun? Sounds like a great time. He seeks the anti-life equation, which is a formula that would allow him to dominate all free will in the universe. I'm still struggling with Bedmass. With godlike powers, including the devastating Omega beams, Darkseid is a near unstoppable force, and he's also terrifying to look at. In the Great Darkness saga, Legion of Superheroes issue 290 to 294, Darkseid attempts to conquer the 30th century by controlling powerful beings and threatening the very fabric of reality. That ought to do it. The story is a testament to his ability to instill fear and manipulate even the strongest heroes. Darkseid clashes with Superman and the Justice League, and these ones are legendary, showcasing the overwhelming power and sheer malevolence that make him one of the greatest villains in DC Comics. The Justice League Snyder Cut does have a scene where he's using his Omega beams to take out the entire team, and it's very, very scary. Ra's al Ghul. He is the leader of the League of Shadows, a shadowy organization, of course, dedicated to reshaping the world through destruction. Ergo, the worst of the worst. His use of the Lazarus Pit grants him near immortality, while his intellect, combat skills, and resources make him one of Batman's most formidable foes. In Son of the Demon, Ra's and Batman form a brief alliance against a common enemy, believe it or not. Now during this time, Ra's introduces Batman to his daughter, Talia al Ghul, leading to a complicated romance. Yeah, that one's a situationship. This story introduces Damian Wayne, Batman's son and eventual Robin, adding a deeply personal layer to their rivalry. Ra's al Ghul's vision of global balance through destruction contrasts sharply with Batman's principles, making their battles philosophical and also, of course, physical, because they both know how to fight. And number 1, Reverse Flash. Reverse Flash is the Flash's ultimate nemesis. As if his name didn't hint that. Hailing from the 25th century, Thawne idolized Barry Allen before his obsession turned into hatred. He uses his speed to manipulate time, wreaking havoc on Barry's life and legacy, and one of his most defining moments is in Flashpoint. His interference in Barry's past leads to an alternate timeline where the world is plunged into chaos. Now, in this dystopian reality, Wonder Woman and Aquaman are at war, Bruce Wayne's father actually became Batman, and Bruce Wayne, well, you can guess the rest there, and Barry is forced to confront the devastating consequences of changing time, with Thawne mocking him every step of the way. Yeah, just heckling him while he's in an alternate universe, that's rude. Reverse Flash's ability to mirror the Flash's powers and his unrelenting vendetta made him one of DC's most complex and dangerous villains. They haven't quite figured out how to do this on film. The Flash movie wasn't that great, but I see where they were going with it, maybe. Thanks for joining us on Top 10 Nerd, and we'll see you next time. Peace.